first of all, what you described, going and eating all that junk food and laying in bed, it may be at some point in your life you need to do that for 5 days.
Sure.
You need a
Oh, yeah.
staycation. You got to do it.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Right.
However, long term, if doing that would make you happy long term, then the Lord would be like, yeah, just do that.
Yeah.
And this and us and everything would be like, yeah, do that. The only reason why there would be any advice against that is because that's not going to lead you to the happiness you think it's going to lead you to, because we know what you want. You want to be happy and peaceful.
That's
and
what
glad
you actually,
to be alive.
even more than Doritos, that's what you really want.
It's what everybody
underneath
wants is, what did it say before? Peace and safety.
Yeah,
Everybody wants peace and safety.
that's right.
And so if God is ever telling you, you have to do this and you have to not do that, guaranteed it is because the things that God is saying don't do will destroy your peace and safety. And the things that God is saying to do will create peace and safety for you. Because otherwise it's not benevolence.
And you would think that peace and safety, like what is more peaceful and more safe than just going through a couple of bags of
But this episode is sponsored by Doritos.
in your bed with the TV or something. Like it's great. Like nobody's bothering you.
Yeah.
You're like you could just lose yourself in some great show, binge watch it.
Do that for a little while.
It's just great.
But that's not.
I don't
the
know how
point.
many people are eating while they're watching this episode. I'm sorry.
Do that for a while, but that's not the point. Like you're taking care. Sure, if you need to take care of your mind that way, do it. But what's the ultimate goal? It is to ultimately be useful to the human race.
Yeah, because I think of the example of Jesus, like he was headed very directly toward peace and joy. And how he got there was by wrangling with the leaders of society, angering people, infuriating evil spirits. He was in the thick of it and engaging with, he wasn't hanging around at home.
Right.
And that was actually a better route, even though it looks very counterintuitive. That's actually a better route to peace and safety.
Let's look at another analogy. And this is not me. Swedenborg keeps giving us these analogies.
How?
But this one is about the foundation of self-care that you need to have.
All right.
Another analogy is a person building a house. The person has to lay the foundation first, but the aim of the foundation has to be the house. And the aim of the house has to be living in it. Likewise, we each ought to see to our own interests first, yet not for our own sake, but to put ourselves in a position to serve our neighbor and therefore our country, the church, and above all, the Lord. If we believe we are our own neighbor first of all, we are like someone who regards the foundation rather than the house or residence in it as the ultimate purpose. Instead, living there is actually the first and ultimate purpose, and the house with its foundation is merely a means to that end. I mean, yep. This is just the bedrock of human psychology. It's like, or of angel psychology. You want to be an angel, just so you know, that's the order. Is angel, foundation's great. It's got to be super solid, can't leak, can't have cracks in it. Do what you need to do there. And the point of that foundation is to support the living, which the living is the doing of good and the making a difference.
Yeah. I noticed in there that it said that the analogy is with a person building a house. It didn't just say the analogy is with a house.
Interesting. Yeah.
Which was where I thought it was going to go. But it says with a person building a house, because the person building a house has a purpose. What are you thinking? Well, I want to have this kind of house, and so I need this kind of foundation. And then, but the whole point is still not just to have the house and then look at it or post pictures of it online or something. The idea is, no, I want to live there. It's going to be beautiful. You got a view out this way of this, and here you got the gardens over there, and it's going to be great.
In conclusion on this section, building worldly resources can either contribute to our spiritual health or inhibit our spiritual health. This is Secrets of Heaven 6938 from volume 10 that just came out.
Look at that.
As it is, you know what? People might say, like, why are you plugging products on this show? Hi, we have to build the foundation, which is the Swedenborg, the not-for-profit Swedenborg Foundation, which if that thing does not have resources, we cannot then produce this programming. Like if we could never talk at all about how we need donations or anything.
We can't
and
live
it
in
would
this
just
house.
go away. It would go away. There wouldn't
Yeah.
be this anymore. Or we would be doing this in our spare time. I think we still want, but we wouldn't be able to devote as much energy. It wouldn't be as good. It would be intermittent. We'd get busy with like, it's the same kind of thing.
That's great.
I'm just
I like
saying.
that.
Just saying.
That's right.
As it is with regard to wealth, so it is with regard to worldly prestige. Okay, so even prestige. It is perfectly allowable for us to secure our standing in the world, but only for our neighbor's sake rather than our own.
Woo. Yeah, that's interesting.
If we seek rank for our own sake, we are taking poor care of ourselves. But if we seek it for the sake of our neighbor, we are taking good care of ourselves. Those who make themselves the point of everything point themselves toward hell, while those who make their neighbor the point instead point themselves toward heaven. So
This guy's on his game today. That's man.
he's just like bringing the hits, bringing the heat.
He
So
must have given himself
so
a good
we're not-
breakfast before he wrote that.
we're not trying to say, yeah, he had Wheaties. We're not trying to say, oh, if you're a spiritual person, you shouldn't try to become director of the institute of whatever you're working at.
Right.
Because you're spiritual. What are you trying to do having your
The spiritual thing would be to
just
get a hair shirt and live in a cave.
That's right.
And pray.
No, because we need you to do that. Again, if I'm the guy with the can't use this leg, and you're going to become the director of the Institute for human mobility, and we need you there doing that. But what we need is two things. One, you can try to get that position, but if there's somebody else who would do a better job, you graciously accept that they should do it because they would do it better than you. Swedenborg actually explicitly lays that out other places.
Yep, that's right.
But the other thing is, the only reason why you'd be saying, not the only reason, the driving reason, the overall reason why you would say, I want to be in the directing that institute is because you think I would be able to make this thing more effective in providing its use. So if you're thinking that, it doesn't matter what you can try to want to be the president of the United States of America, whatever you want to do, if you think because I could solve these problems with that, you're being as spiritual as you can be. Go ahead,
right.
try as hard as you can. Know that it's going to be providence that ultimately determines it, and accept what providence gives you. But that's all. We're not saying don't go for it. We're just saying make sure you know why you're going for it.
It's so upside down from the way that the lower self thinks about these things, because basically the lower self thinks, look, I've got to get ahead in this world. And people have to know who I am. I have to like register in their brains or on their retina. I have to make an impression, or I have to, just like stand out of the crowd or something. And to have Swedenborg say, yeah, but if you're doing that for yourself, you're doing a bad job of, of that very thing that you're trying to do, And yet, if you were saying, well, no, I want to get this because somebody's got to help this and that, and there's this cause, these people are hurting, somebody's got to do something, and so I'm the least person who could help, but somebody's got to do something, and so you step in and you try to get the skills and you try to put together the funding and all that to address something and help. That is actually a better way. Then you get respect and love, and that isn't even what you were going for,
And Swedenborg saying this, given this diatribe here, this is not him as somebody who saying, well, all of you shouldn't do this. He did it wrong early in his life. He was doing, this sentence here, when he says that those who make themselves the point of everything point themselves toward hell, while those who make their neighbor the point instead point themselves towards heaven. He was pointing himself towards hell before, because he was doing all this, getting all these accolades, making all these discoveries, designing all these things for the sake of himself. And he knew this. And then when he had his spiritual awakening, that changed, and he saw the difference. So he was a high achiever, high powered person. He's not just saying you guys shouldn't. He's like, I've been there. I was doing it wrong. Now I'm trying to do it right.
Yeah, and had to make some pretty huge sacrifices in terms of his own reputation, becoming something of a laughing stock or a byword or a joke to some
Just
people.
doing this crazy talking about angels and stuff.
That's right.
So speaking of what you just were saying before about laying the it's all about me aside, you end up getting it's all about you, but in a different way. So